I had a flood in my house this year. The insurance adjuster sent somebody out to clean it up. They wanted $750 because they supposedly had removed the water and removed the pad and taken care of my furniture. Fact is, they didn't even take out the pad. And they wanted $750, and two other carpet companies told me that that was at least $300 too much for the job. I called my attorneys. I called Prepaid Legal, and the carpet company tried to put a lien on my house, but Prepaid Legal sent out a letter and they dropped everything. They said it's just too expensive for us to pursue it. Without Prepaid Legal, I would have been out $750 and I still would have been ripped off. They didn't do the work that they said they were doing. I'm a single mom. I mean, sometimes we get overcharged for stuff. I know that. With Prepaid Legal, my rights are protected. People can't take me for granted. I mean, they just can't take advantage of me.
I actually had a telephone company, a large telephone company, when I signed up for a long-distance service. Told me I was going to get one rate plan, and I actually got another rate plan when I got the bill in the mail, and that rate plan was $195.06 more than what I thought I was going to pay. And of course, I communicated with this very large company, and they proceeded pretty much to tell me, hey, hug a root, pay the bill, or we're going to shut your service off. And to say the least, I really wasn't that happy. Called my Prepaid Legal attorneys the next day. They wrote a two-page letter. I had to fax a couple documents to them. They wrote a two-page letter on my behalf, and 30 days to the day that they wrote that letter, I got a refund check for $195.06. But the best part about it was the letter that I got the next day apologizing for their mistake and asking if there was anything else they can do for me.
Well, our dryer caught on fire, and it was the timing device that we finally, the fire marshal had decided was the fault of the fire. And we tried to go through the company that had manufactured the dryer to get it, you know, our reimbursement back. You know, the machine was only 2 years old, so we had really faced a big loss and weren't able to do anything. The company didn't want to deal with me on a one-to-one level, so I contacted Prepaid Legal, and one letter from the lawyer and we had our money in our hand. It was that easy. And I had tried everything that I could think of and was at the end of my rope before I tried Prepaid Legal. And we had only had it for a month, so that wasn't my first original thought. You know, but when I couldn't do anything myself, that's who I called, and we got immediate results.
I took a ring to a jeweler down in Southern California where I was living to get some minor work done, and the jeweler destroyed the ring. And you know, I went in and had a discussion with him, and that turned into an argument, of course, and of course that still didn't go anywhere. And I walked out of a store and picked up the membership card and called the provider law firm and had a consultation with her, and she said, give me the guy's name and phone number. So she actually called the jeweler on my behalf, and the same day she did that, the jeweler actually gave me a check for over $2,000 to replace my ring.
Recently I signed up for a service that I legitimately stopped. Just wasn't getting value out of it, and about a month later I ended up getting a debt collection letter. Actually, first debt collection letter I've ever received, and it was from a law firm in Florida. And had I not had the service, this was a very intimidating letter. They were going to affect my credit. They were going to go against my TRW. And thanks to Prepaid Legal, I picked up the phone, had an attorney write a two-page letter. This letter alone had to be $400 or $500. Sent out to this Florida law firm. I figured that's the end of it. About 2 weeks later, I hear back from the original Florida law firm. This was a one-page response saying, Dear Mr. Cohen, we are not going to pursue this any further. Nothing's going to appear on your credit. Have a nice life. All thanks to Prepaid Legal.
I was going to visit my fiancée, who's now my wife, several months ago. And when I ordered the ticket online, everything was fine, and I paid for the ticket. I bought it on one of those bidding services over the internet, and the next day I received 2 FedEx packages, which was sort of strange. And one of them was for a flight leaving at about 8 a.m., and the next flight was leaving at 8:15, and in essence they had double booked me. And so I called my bank as I used my debit card, and they had actually double charged my bank account, which means in essence they zapped $450 out, not once but twice, so now I was paying $900 for an airline ticket. So I called them, I tried to resolve the issue. They gave me to one supervisor who gave me to another, and this bidding service had a policy where they only did refunds every 2 to 3 billing cycles, which turns out to be 4 to 6 months. So I called my attorneys, and they wrote a pretty firm letter and said I was a good customer. And so instead of it taking 4 to 6 months to get my refund back, which I felt I deserved, my philosophy was, hey, you zapped it out, you can zap it back in. And it wasn't until they got a letter from my attorney that they decided to give me my $450 back immediately.
I was at a retail store where I had purchased a laptop computer from them, paid cash for it, went to return it because I had found a better deal somewhere else. Had my receipts that I can return within 14 days, only to be informed that they wouldn't refund my money simply because the serial number on the back of the laptop didn't match the serial number on the box that they gave it to me in. So I was a little befuddled, so to speak, and said, okay, sounds like a packaging error on your part. Can I get my money, please? I said, ma'am, I'm sorry, we can't refund your money at this time. Have a nice day, basically. So in speaking to the store clerk and his manager and the manager's managers, you know how we do, I decided to call the next day and said, hey, this is what happened to me at the store. Can you help me? You know, what are my consumer rights? Because, you know, we all know that if we don't know our rights, we don't have any. And so they helped me. They made a phone call on my behalf. And to make a long story short, I got my money back, refunded for that laptop computer as their way of saying, and a $50 gift certificate as their way of saying thank you for your inconvenience. So it was just power in that. So it felt really, really good. I felt like Oprah Winfrey that day.